If love is a private language, then Selena and Benny's love was once spoken on a stage where everyone had a megaphone. Screenshots of missed calls, grainy elevator footage, half-heard voices and Instagram stories, all of it became evidence. Twitter threads dissected their tone of voice. TikTok edits set breakup theories to melancholy piano tracks. Reddit boards mapped out timelines like crime scene investigators pinning strings to a corkboard. Suddenly, their intimacy wasn't theirs. It was public property, argued over by people who'd never been in the room, never held the plush toy, never known the late-night quiet where everything feels like it could break. Please don't forget to subscribe and like this video. It is free and help us bring you enjoyable content. And of course, watch till the end. It wasn't malice, not really. Fans weren't trying to destroy them. If anything, they were desperate to protect them. But protection can look a lot like possession. When millions of people feel invested in your story, your heartbreak becomes entertainment, and your silence becomes suspicious. How do you heal when the world won't let you? The irony is, neither of them set out to be villains or martyrs. They were just two people caught in the gravity of fame, trying to love, trying to create, trying to breathe. But in the age of constant exposure, who gets to decide what's real? The people living it or the people watching it? And maybe that's the tragedy of modern love stories. They're not just written in private journals anymore. They're live-streamed, analyzed, and turned into content before the ink even dries. When the lipstick line from Rare Beauty sold out in hours, some critics accused Selena of cashing in on heartbreak. But that argument misses the point. For Selena, building Rare Beauty wasn't about capitalization, it was about survival. About creating something lasting when everything else felt fragile. About giving people permission to see themselves as enough, even when the world screamed otherwise. Rare Beauty wasn't born from marketing spreadsheets. It was born from her scars, from the weight of lupus, from the pressure to look flawless while managing very real pain. Every product, every campaign carried a whisper of defiance. You don't have to be perfect to be worthy. And in that way, Rare Beauty was less a brand and more a mirror, a way for her to tell herself and her fans that brokenness can still be beautiful. Meanwhile, Benny threw himself into music with the ferocity of someone trying to outrun silence. Beats piled up, hooks looped endlessly, nights blurred into mornings. His life was a pendulum swinging between brilliance and burnout. Together, they were living parallel truths. She was building beauty from scars. He was building sound from chaos. And maybe that's why they couldn't stay in sync. Because sometimes, no matter how much love there is, people just move at different rhythms. But here's the question that lingers: if pain can build empires and heartbreak can fuel art, is there ever really such a thing as loss? Or is it just transformation? The weight of the key. The key wasn't just metal and teeth. It was metaphor. A symbol that while one door had closed, literally with the elevator doors sliding shut, another was waiting to open. And this one didn't lead to romance or reconciliation. It led to creation. Selena wasn't heading home. She wasn't disappearing into heartbreak. She was stepping into the studio, into the place where her voice could carry what her silence could not. That small sliver of steel dangling from her hand was less about leaving Benny and more about returning to herself. Fans saw the key and speculated endlessly. Who was behind the studio door? Another producer? A collaborator? Or was she walking into the kind of solitude that births art raw enough to scar and heal in the same breath? Whatever the answer, one truth stood out. Sometimes the key to moving forward isn't waiting for someone else to unlock the door. Sometimes, you just hold it yourself and walk through. Of course, none of this should paint Selena as a flawless heroine or Benny as a shadowy antagonist. Real stories don't work like that. Behind every glowing headline are shadows the cameras never catch. Selena battles chronic illness and mental health struggles that would be heavy even without fame pressing on them. She has spoken about how dark nights can get, how hope can feel slippery, how even stepping onto a stage can feel like carrying a mountain. Her glow isn't effortless, it's forged. Benny, too, carried burdens few saw. Anxiety that whispered at the edge of every performance. The pressure of being the guy who had to deliver the next hit, the next anthem, the next moment that kept the world singing. To joke through the fear, to mask the shaking hands, to smile when inside he was drowning, that was his survival. Together, they weren't heroes or villains. They were human. And maybe that's what makes their unraveling so resonant. Because who hasn't tried to love while carrying too much? Who hasn't felt the weight of ambition tugging in one direction while the heart tugged in another? The glow may dazzle us, but it's the shadows that tell the truth. And if the shadows could speak, they'd say this wasn't failure. It was simply a moment when two people couldn't carry both love and life at the same time. The phrase still lingers. Creative hostage. Two words whispered in an elevator that have since echoed across the internet like prophecy. Was it literal? Metaphorical? A private joke gone sour? Nobody knows. But in its ambiguity, it revealed a deeper truth. Sometimes even the things we love can start to feel like cages. Love, fame, art, success. What begins as freedom can harden into expectation, and expectation can start to suffocate. Selena slipping off that ring wasn't just about ending a relationship. It was about unshackling herself from an expectation, about choosing not to be anyone's hostage, not creatively, not emotionally, not publicly. It was a declaration, silent but resounding, that she was ready to write the next chapter on her own terms. And if there's one thing her history has taught us, it's that when Selena writes a new chapter, the world listens. So here we are. The ring is gone. The elevator doors have closed. The plush toy with its frayed thread has been clutched and released. And the studio key has turned in the lock. What comes next isn't just an album. It's a rebirth. Because for Selena, art has always been the transformation of heartbreak into something greater. After Justin came Lose You to Love Me. After her surgery came Rare Beauty. After Benny, what will come? And maybe that's the lesson for all of us, that heartbreak isn't the end. It's the raw material for transformation. That even when doors close, the keys in our hand can lead us somewhere unexpected. That sometimes the act of letting go isn't loss, but liberation. Selena slipped off the ring, and the night seemed unsettled. But maybe it wasn't unsettled at all. Maybe it was shifting, reshaping, preparing for something new. The cameras caught the absence of jewelry, but what they really captured was the presence of resolve. Her story with Benny wasn't a failure. It was a chapter. A necessary one, filled with love, tension, struggle, and creation. And now it's one she's closed, key in hand, ready for the next. So here's the call to you, to me, to anyone who's ever slipped off their own metaphorical ring. Let this be a reminder that endings aren't emptiness. They're doorways. They're chances to rediscover yourself, to reclaim your voice, to turn pain into something enduring. What keys are you holding right now? What doors are waiting for you to open? Because if Selena can take the weight of heartbreak, of illness, of global scrutiny, and still walk toward creation, maybe you can too. Maybe we all can. And maybe, just maybe, when the night feels unsettled, it's only because the dawn is about to break.